Welcome back to the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication series on video production safety. This module is about ladders, lifts, lamp rehousing, the overhead grid, and electricity in general. As always, if you feel unsafe using any of the equipment or facilities, then stop what you're doing and seek assistance. Your safety and that of your crew always comes first. We have lots to cover, so let's get started. Gaylord College has 2 dedicated studio spaces, an auditorium, and a floating set inside the Convergence Lab. Today, we're going to focus on Studio A and Studio D. First, let's discuss electricity in our studios. Each studio has an overhead grid of fixtures and plugs, as well as plugs along the wall. All these outlets are routed to the central lighting console for control of the dimmers. It is important to understand that the dimmer board has individual lights or circuits on numbered sliders, groups of lights or circuits on scene sliders, and everything is controlled by the master fader. When the board is off, there is no power to the dimmer board or any of these small red indicator lights. The board can be on, as seen here, but with each circuit controller fader in the down position and the master control or fader down, no power is being routed to any of the circuits. Understanding this is crucial. The only way to safely work in the grid or to plug in and unplug lights is with the circuits off. You risk serious injury trying to plug a light into a hot circuit. Always remember that electricity is trying to kill you. Treat it with respect. Now that we understand how to bring the grid's power up and down safely, let's ensure the circuits are off and move a ladder into position to replace a light. In Studio A, this is accomplished first by receiving permission from an instructor or teaching assistant, ensuring the grid is safe, and then carefully moving the blue ladder into position. To change lights in Studio D, you need the electric lift or fiberglass ladder, which we'll talk about a bit later. It might take a few minutes to safely move the ladder around and not hit any of the lights hanging from the grid. Take your time. Once the ladder is in position, grab a pair of safety gloves available in the cabinet or in the yellow basket atop the ladder and ascend the stairs walking forward. At the top of the ladder, you must make note of a few things. Ensure you are close to the light and do not need to contort your body in an unsafe manner to accomplish your task. If you're not quite where you need to be, then descend the ladder backwards, reposition it, and try again. Never extend your body in such a way that might cause you to lose your balance and fall. Ensure the light you're about to service is dark on its red circuit indicator light. Ensure that there is a safety wire or chain on the light itself. Ensure that the light's barn door is also chained to the fixture and not the grid itself. Ensure the light is not hot. Do not touch a hot light under any circumstances. Touching a hot light is likely to cause serious burn injury. Third-degree burns are possible when touching hot lights. Don't do it. Next, unplug the power cord attaching a light to the grid. Remove the safety wire or chain connecting the light to the grid. Do not let this fall to the floor. Instead, loop it back around the light's yoke. After that, use the wrench attached to the ladder to loosen the light's C-clamp, holding it on the grid. When it is free, lift it from the grid. Descend the ladder backwards with one hand on the railing and the other on the light. About here would be a good moment to hand the fixture to someone on the floor who is helping you out. Now that we're off the ladder, let's examine the light for a moment. Ensure that the barn doors are not damaged and any diffusion material on the light is in good shape. Ensure that the metal is not warped in any way, nor is the glass Fresnel element cracked. Open the light by pulling the pin attaching the Fresnel door to the housing. The light housing should swing open. Inside, you'll see a bulb on a ceramic base. Video production quartz bulbs are incredibly fragile, expensive, and most importantly, dangerous. A stray touch of unprotected human skin on the bulb's glass housing can and will cause the bulb to explode once the bulb has current and heat running through it. Never touch a bulb without being gloved. We think this bulb is bad. Let's remove it by firmly grasping the bulb at the base and pulling upwards. You'll notice this bulb has blown because the glass housing has dark smoke marks on it and the inner wire assembly has been broken. Open a new bulb of the correct matching type for this light. Remove all paper and plastic wrapping and with a gloved hand, replace the bulb in the ceramic housing and close the door. With our new bulb in the light, we can reascend the stairs with the light in one hand and the other holding the railing, place the light back into its position on the grid and tighten it down with the wrench attached to the ladder, place the safety wire or chain back on the light and loop it into the grid. Position the light into place. Finally, reconnect the light to the power system. Descend the ladder and test the light to ensure its positioning is adequate. If it's not, turn the grid off, reascend the ladder, and try again. In Studio D, this entire process is carried out in a similar fashion, but with the electric lift or fiberglass ladder. At the moment students are not asked to use the electric lift without direct instructor involvement, the same order of operations on how to handle the lights still applies. You might have trepidation about using the ladders and servicing the grid. That's okay. If your instructor or classmates are asking you to perform tasks that you are not comfortable with, then stop and seek assistance. Your safety and the safety of your crew always comes first.